we gonna do like a hey, welcome back?
Welcome back to Hey Assbutt.
There we go.
Hey!
Here we are.
Hey! Thank you for
Hey!
taking the lead, Ben. We really need to get a system in place or something.
We also really need to pay attention to this waveform right here.
Oh, sorry.
Make sure we don't blow it out. Don't worry.
Welcome back to Hey Assbutt.
I can press
just in
everything
case.
afterwards, so it's
I'm
fine.
sorry, everyone, for that loud Hey Assbutt.
Yeah, no, it's cool.
Can I do one in my NPR voice?
Sure.
Welcome back to Hey Assbutt. This is Ari, Ben, and Travis. We're talking about our week, and then we'll be going into another Supernatural episode.
Oh my god.
Episode 2, Season 1. Let's talk about this.
That was a pretty good NPR voice.
Thank you. I've always dreamed of being hired by NPR, so
Yeah?
I had to have a voice ready. Just in case you were like, is this bitch any more white liberal than... The answer is, yeah. I love NPR.
I feel like my regular voice is pretty like sonorous enough to just be on the radio, so I never really like I can do like that stereotypical radio voice.
You have a voice made for radio,
yeah,
Travis.
I feel like I do. I feel like I've got a good
And a face.
oh, thanks.
I'm just kidding.
Oh,
You're very handsome.
She just like super low key called me ugly.
I
by
would
the
never... It's fine.
Yeah.
I think with my voice, I'd probably just take over for John Boy or Billy.
Oh man.
Jeez.
Huntsville references.
We should pack the episodes with that so we never get
Yeah, we
an
never
audience.
get any audience outside of Huntsville,
Yeah,
Alabama.
we really should. Hey, another great idea. Let's do a lot of visual humor, guys.
Yeah, that's great.
How many fingers I'm holding up? Hey.
Oh, God.
Oh,
Well, I can't
so
see
many
you.
middle fingers. Ben, how do you have 4 middle fingers on your hands?
Because we're from Alabama.
Now I'm imagining that Ben just has all the fingers on his hand are just the same length. How creepy would that be?
Oh, God.
Like, can you imagine with someone with all their fingers are the same length? Even
can.
their thumb goes out to the length of their forefinger, and then it's all just the same after
You've
that.
just described horror creatures from that started on the internet, like
Yeah.
Slender Man and Salad Fingers.
Oh, salad fingers! What a
All of his
callback.
fingers are the same length, right?
Well, yeah,
Yes.
but they're lettuce.
Well, they're made of salad.
They're made of salad.
They're romaine lettuce.
Yeah, they are romaine lettuce.
Just to
clarify, romaine lettuce a salad does not make. Okay?
Yeah.
No, that's
You gotta
what-
have dressing. You gotta have some other vegetation. Maybe some croutons.
What's the rest of his body?
Croutons?
Wasn't like his hand like kind of like the weird like actually kind of
I'm
looked
pretty
like
sure
a
the rest
salad?
of his body was just
Yeah.
like a gray mass. Like he looked like a zombie. But
He was
with
basically
salad fingers.
Let's pull up newgrounds.com.
Oh God, no! I'm just gonna pull up a picture of salad fingers so
Pull
we
up
can just end
4chan.
this.
They have the answers. Just kidding. That's never been said.
No, I don't feel like.
We'll put that on a
I don't
list
feel
of
like
things I
putting
never thought you would
garbage on
say.
my iPad.
Ben, I didn't ask you this last week, but I did think about asking you this, and that is, do you make your fashion choices based off of salmon jeans and Supernatural? You wear more like a lesbian would love to rifle through your closet. You wear more plaid than
Hashtag-
any human I know, and I went to 2 separate women's colleges, all right?
Hashtag plaid life, baby.
Oh my God.
Okay, so here he is. He's got like 3 fingers of like romaine strings, and they got some like hair on the bottom of them. He's basically got romaine lettuce claws.
Pretty much, yeah. And drug eyes. But yeah, no.
Yeah.
I have one long sleeve shirt that I like to wear that isn't plaid.
I've never seen it.
Oh, it's the blue one. I've worn it a few times.
I've never seen you wear it.
I've
And I
worn it.
refuse to accept it.
There are pictures of me online wearing it. But no,
I'll
yeah.
have to look those up later.
I feel good wearing...
Okay, gonna stop at salad fingers porn.
Why?
Done
The
scrolling
internet.
through
What?
that.
I thought you weren't
know,
going to pull up
What's
Newgrounds.
it? What is it? Rule 63? That's like
34.
34. It's rule 34. If it exists, there's porn of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I feel like somebody on the internet took that as a challenge.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
like there didn't have to be salad fingers porn, but they were like, Rule 34 says I gotta fucking do it.
Have
Yeah.
you seen DeviantArt?
I mean, I had those memories wiped.
All right. But no, since we're referencing the internet,
Oh, hang on. Can I also point out when I searched for salad fingers, I typed in salad, and the very first 2 things that came up, the first one was salad fingers. The second one was all recipes, salad recipes. Like salad fingers was first,
That
and
seems
then
insane to
salad
me.
recipes. Like
We
But maybe
That's-
maybe Google is just too spot on these
Yeah.
days.
I think Google just knows you from your other searches and was like, this motherfucker's not searching for salad recipes.
I have searched salad fingers in the last 3 years, so who knows?
That seems crazy to me. But.
True.
I was showing someone. Also, there were new episodes I hadn't seen.
Ben, what have you been thinking about this week? Other than maybe your hair growing longer.
No, that's just a thing that happens at this point, man. But no, I've got a tour in a few weeks.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Where all are you going?
I'm gonna have to pull that up because I don't remember.
Oh no, I actually did see that you're gonna be at a show at House, a social eatery
In Nashville.
in Nashville, and
Yeah.
Ari Elliott and I, we went up to Nashville to do an open mic, and then that show was also on Wednesday, so we left the open mic and went to that show. Very cool venue.
Awesome.
Very cool.
Very cool. Very cheap food, cheap and good food too.
Delicious. I had a burger and I was like,
And it was only $10, like burger and fries.
yeah,
And Elliot had like a
chicken club sandwich.
chicken club wrap.
Oh, yeah.
And it was only $8 with a side too, and it didn't just have to be fries. Like there was a 50-cent upcharge for onion rings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
I had a burger and I was like, I want to get married to this burger. I want to make sweet love to this burger.
Yeah.
It had jalapeno strawberry jam on it. Oh, so
Yeah.
good. So delicious.
Let's see. August 2nd, we're in Tuscaloosa.
Nice.
August 7th, we're in Memphis. Then on the 9th, Chattanooga. The 11th, Montgomery. The 12th, Columbus. I believe that one's still in the books. And then on the 14th, we're back in Huntsville.
Y'all did not plan that drive very well.
No, we did not.
Well, if we have this episode out by then and you guys are in the area, come
Yeah.
check Ben and then our mutual
Yeah, go
friend
see
Matt
Ben and
Tate. He's
Matthew
going to be on
Tate.
that tour too.
Yeah.
I
headlining.
helped Matthew Tate record his debut comedy album, so I'm very proud of that.
Good job.
It's a great album. It,
It is,
sounds
yeah.
fan goddamn
It
tastic.
sounds amazing.
He will definitely have copies with him or digital download cards.
Oh,
so.
absolutely.
Did this just become a branded video for Matt Tate? A branded podcast?
Yeah, it did. Brandon, go to
Have we sold
MatthewTate.com.
What we're
Have
saying
we sold out? Yes.
give us
We got a
money is
nice
what we're
plate of
saying.
mozzarella sticks.
Thank you, Ducky, for bringing us those mozzarella sticks.
Yeah, thank you.
He got the thumbs I asked him to get.
Yeah, Ducky's a girl.
Ducky's a well. You know what? It's rude to assume gender.
Yeah, that's-
you know what? That's our bad.
He can't say, or they can't say what they are.
Yeah,
That's
Ducky,
true.
what are you?
He's licking his
Adorable
paw.
is
Okay.
what she is.
Yeah, that's true.
I accept Ducky no matter what.
Adorable when she's not being an asshole.
She's never an asshole. You're just an asshole first.
I don't know. I don't believe it.
Ducky's the cat. I don't know if we ever explicitly said that, but
Duck-
she is.
Ducky is the cat.
She is my cat.
She
is
was
great.
our assistant who didn't have any thumbs.
True.
Yeah.
True. She's.
But now she
thumbless.
does, and she brought us some mozzarella sticks.
We're very proud of her. She's making her own money now.
Yeah.
Damn right.
Getting that 9 to 5.
With that grub South job.
Yeah. Travis, what have you been thinking about this week?
What have I been thinking about? I've been thinking about the dumbest thing that I've ever done this week.
Hit me.
So,
Tell me about it, Travis.
We
Tell me
gotta-
about the dumbest thing you've ever done.
we have our door over here. And our door has two locks on it. There's the deadbolt, and then there's the doorknob lock. And the doorknob lock is like kind of like, oh, I'm just stepping out for a minute and I'll come back. So I was doing laundry because we don't have a washer and dryer at the time right now. So I was going to our laundry facility and it was fine. I was doing that. I come back with my basket of dry laundry, only to find out that I've shut the door behind myself with the doorknob lock in the lock position. So I locked myself out of my apartment. I did not have my keys. I did not have my phone. I did not have my wallet. And the main office for the apartment complex was closed. So I broke into my own apartment. And now half of our door frame is missing.
Yep.
And that's the dumbest thing I've ever done.
Also, just to make this like perfectly clear, he very easily broke into our apartment.
Yeah, also, like, pretty upset about how easy it was to break in
Yeah.
without the deadbolt.
Yeah.
Like, that
so-
deadbolt is pretty solid, because it can still lock the door as of right now.
Which, like, thank God.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out how we're going to explain to our apartment complex. Like, we just moved in, and I'm sure they're like, oh, man, it's just these two, 20-somethings. They just work, and surely there's no, like, raucous Raucous.
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 Ruckus.
Ruckus?
Ruckus.
Can you describe
Raucous?
this ruckus?
Like filthy parties,
Are you being
cat
facetious
wrestling rings.
or do you get the reference?
Oh, no, I don't get the reference.
Breakfast Club.
Oh.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that
Can
movie
you
in a long
describe the
time.
ruckus?
And I feel like a lot of people kind of shit on John Hughes movies because they're like kind of dumb. But I like them. They're not dumb.
I feel like they're very, of the 80s. Like
They're
it's,
of the 80s.
yeah.
They're good, solid 80s movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. He laid the groundwork for Dread Apatow.
Like if you had to if a time traveler came from anywhere or an alien came down and he was like, what happened in the 1980s? I would just show them John Hughes movies.
Yes.
John Hughes movies,
And
cocaine, and
Back to the Future.
Yeah.
And Back to the Future.
Even though that
and
involves
and
time
Patrick
travel.
Swayze.
Patrick Swayze did Happy in the 90s.
Oh shit.
No, he happened in the 80s too.
Yeah.
80s and 90s.
80s and 90s.
Wait, but Swayze? Yeah.
Yeah. When was Ghost? That's the real question.
That was an 80s movie.
88.
Really?
Yeah, 88.
Oh, okay. Oh, Demi Moore.
So
I'd make pottery with her any day.
what have you been thinking about, Ari?
I've been thinking about a lot of different things. My mind is weighed down with all of my thoughts. No,
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Recently I've been thinking about Jane Austen adaptations.
Really?
Yeah.
In what
The
form?
looks you guys just gave me are like
No. You say Jane
what
Au-
is happening?
Well, because you said Jane Austen adaptation, and the very first thing I thought about was Pride and Prejudice and Zombies.
Ha!
Which is not, it's probably not great that my brain went there immediately.
No, I mean, it's fine.
It's better than where I went.
Where did you go?
I got her crossed with Ayn Rand.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm offended.
And immediately went to Bioshock.
Oh.
Yeah.
How?
Well-
what is that thought process?
Well,
Wine and Southernisms.
yeah.
What about Jane Austen is like,
But no,
Ayn Rand, Bioshock, done.
no.
Female authors, Ayn Rand's book Atlas Shrugged was inspired the plot for Bioshock.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Very deeply. But yeah, no, fun fact, I used to watch the Pride and Prejudice show with my mother when I was a kid.
Oh, the miniseries with Colin Firth?
Oh, Colin Firth is amazing.
So good.
I know this is totally random. Have you seen The Importance of Being Earnest?
Yes.
One of the best fucking movies.
I have not actually.
It's so good.
Yes.
That is based off of an Oscar Wilde play.
Yep.
But it is delightful. Colin Firth is in it, and I can't remember his name, but I remember him best as like he played Julia Roberts' gay best friend in a lot of movies. He himself is not gay, but he was like the gay best friend in like My Best Friend's Wedding. End of list of things I can't remember. He's in a bunch of other stuff too. Most importantly for me, I think he is in St. Trinian's School for Girls, which is a British comedy that I really enjoy about like this like violent girls' school.
That sounds really familiar.
It's pretty funny. You guys should check it out.
Yeah.
But the reason why I was thinking about Jane Austen adaptations, and I mean like, just movies that have been made based off Jane Austen books. So that includes anything from like Clueless
Oh, okay.
to just a straight up adaptation, like the Colin Firth miniseries or the Keira Knightley 2005 movie. And the reason why is because I saw Bridget Jones' Diary for the first time.
Oh.
I'm sick, and when I get sick, I like to watch rom-coms.
You're like a year older than me, right?
Yes.
And this is the first time you've ever seen Bridget Jones's Diary.
Yes.
I went with my sister to go see that when it came out in theaters.
Really?
Yeah.
You were 4 in 95. Or no, you were 3.
No, was it? No, maybe in the second one.
Okay, yeah, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Wait, no. Bridget Jones' Diary came out in 2001. I'm sorry.
Okay, I was like, yeah.
Here's what it was. The Colin Firth miniseries came out in 1995.
Ari's sick and has wine, so there we go.
I'm
Yeah,
a
we
little
all
sick.
we all have wine.
I have a bevy of beverages in front of me. I've got a cup of tea.
You got so many
Orange
liquids.
juice.
Don't spill any of
Well,
those.
you liquid
Ari is all
don't
bevved up.
spill any. What do I look like?
A spiller.
I mean,
Somebody who spills things?
I look like someone with a lot of expensive equipment, so
I'm not gonna. You guys
I'm
have
very.
at least 3 drinks in front of you, a piece.
Yeah, well, this is empty and this is empty.
Oh, okay. Pardon me. I didn't realize the drink police was fucking here.
Yeah.
It's all ice.
The drink police is here, and it's me.
But
It's better than
I'm
the
gonna
Karma
spill it all
Police.
over the fucking place. I don't give a shit.
Oh, we also
You
have
can't-
this. We also have this used to be plant.
Yeah, well, there's still a plant.
Is it?
The roots are still there.
I
I'm
don't
trying
thi-
to regrow them.
I don't think it's alive.
You're hurting me. I got a plant as a gift from a friend. It's an adorable Teton.
And then the cats ate it.
And the day I brought it, the cats were like, "Fuck you!" Yes. And by cat I mean cats. I mean cat.
Oh yeah,
Specifically
cat.
Ducky.
Specifically Ducky. Say, I told you Ducky's an asshole.
She's a great asshole though, and she likes to show her asshole. It is
Yeah,
the way of
that
cats.
is true.
But I watched Bridget Jones' Diary for the first time. Super adorable movie. I've never wanted to punch Hugh Grant in the face more. He has a very punchable face.
Yeah.
And he was a huge thing in a lot of 90s rom-coms and like early 2000s one. And then he just totally has disappeared for me. I have no idea.
Well, he's probably rich.
Yeah, he doesn't have to make movies anymore.
Yeah, sure, but like
He may just be
Brad
producing
Pitt doesn't
movies.
have to make movies anymore.
He just enjoys making movies.
Maybe.
Like, Jackie Chan doesn't need to make movies. He's still fucking making movies. But no, like...
Terrible movies. You're right.
All right.
Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
I don't know. I haven't seen most of them.
I'm right. When I
No.
was a kid, I was obsessed with Jackie Chan Adventures.
Yeah.
Which
That was a
was
fun
an
show.
animated series,
Yeah.
about like that included like magic and martial arts. And guys, I found out the other day, Jackie Chan didn't voice the character of Jackie Chan on Jackie Chan Adventures.
Yeah.
I
No,
am
he
not
didn't.
I
surprised.
did not know that, and I was like, "Oh my god,
It's
this
just...
hurts me." Hugh Grant, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty punchable.
Travis
Yeah.
just brought up a picture of Hugh Grant, and his face is very punchable.
So is that hair.
But yeah,
He
that
usually got cast in rom-coms as like the sympathetic dick.
yeah.
In Bridget Jones' Diary, he's definitely like, I guess, the bad guy, if there's really a bad guy in rom-coms. But
I just want to say that the picture that Travis pulled up kind of looks like a more flaccid version of the lead singer for Flock of Seagulls.
you're not wrong.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You're right and you're wrong and you're not wrong.
What are we talking about?
Flock of Seagulls. Google both of those things.
Hugh Grant.
Hugh Grant.
Something about Jackie Chan not voicing
Oh yeah,
the character.
voice acting is amazing that way because like there's been a slew of like Toy Story movies and like Toy Story toys made where like Woody talks and stuff like that.
Sure.
But they don't get Tom Hanks to act in all those because that'd be way too expensive.
Yeah.
Tom
His-
Hanks, America's favorite stepdad.
Tom Hanks' brother actually does all that work.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
like,
interesting.
Tom Hanks' brother, I can't remember his name besides Hanks. Tom Hanks' brother not only is a really good voice actor, but looks and sounds exactly like his brother. Like I don't know if they're twins. I think he's a little older actually, but they look and sound exactly the same. So when it came to doing like Toy Story movies and shit like that, they got his brother to do it because he was way cheaper.
Wow.
Cheaper. And every time I was like, you know what? It's a way for you to make money. Fuck it, have at
Exactly.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm busy filming yet another movie about a captain of something that goes down with the ship. So I've got to, I got shit
Yeah.
to do.
Poor Tom Hanks.
Not Tom Hanks.
Hanks.
Does he call his brother not Tom Hanks? That's
Not
the
Tom
real
Hanks.
question.
That would be great.
If I were famous, I have 2 siblings, and if I were famous, I'd be like, "Hey, not Ari and other not Ari, what's up, you guys?" I wouldn't. They have great names.
Evan and I refer to me as the less successful Evan Roulette.
Oh my god, that's
Even
really
more-
sad because
Yeah.
Evan Roulette is not like super successful.
He's more successful than me, though.
That's true, but not. He's not like.
I thought that
He's not Bill Gates, right?
Yeah, no.
Like he's not. He
But
doesn't
we
have,
are both going down like similar career paths
That's
of like
true.
entertainment and pizza
Pizza
management.
making. Yeah.
So
2 great tastes that taste great together.
yeah, so he is already like way farther than I am, but he also started 3 years before I did.
Yeah. Wait, how old is Evan?
Evan is a year younger than me, actually.
he's
Okay.
23.
I
Yeah.
hate him.
I thought that John Boy and Billy reference was going to be the most niche thing that happened tonight.
Oh yeah, no. Hey, check out the hit band Evan Roulette and the Evan Roulettes. We're pretty cool.
Yeah, Travis is not the bass player for that band.
Shut up.
Travis is the bass player for that band.
I'm the bass player for that band.
When
I
he
do really
doesn't
good.
drink too much before the shows.
Yeah.
Even then. Even then.
Well, even then he tries.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He attempts.
I attempt.
Sometimes it's good.
I can
It's
play.
usually
I can
good.
play Feliz Navidad really well.
It's a comedy band, so like I feel like you guys don't need to be
Yeah, no, that's the
part of the funny.
That's
came
part of
up
the.
with that.
That's the fun part is we don't have to take ourselves that seriously as musicians either. Like, we have one song where we have a solo section, and the whole point of the solo section is to do a shitty solo. So that just like
Hilarious.
lays right over y'all's heads.
No, I got it.
like,
I
I
got it.
understand what it is.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I was in the middle of like taking a sip
Yeah,
of one of my
one of your
different drinks.
500 beverages.
I am
This
a thirsty
table is
girl.
just full of cups, most of them half full with a liquid. Ari's just picking up each cup and drinking from one as
What's
she
it?
goes.
Starve of fever. Drink a lot of liquids when you have unspecified illness.
What?
I don't know. There's a saying. Shut up, guys. Whatever. I'm good.
To go back to Tom Hanks, because like when he's playing like a disaster kind of thing.
Yeah.
Would the exact opposite of Tom Hanks be? Was it John Marsden? The
James Marsden.
James Marsden.
Yeah.
Yeah, where he just dies and everything.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, and Sean Bond.
Yeah.
James Marsden doesn't die in everything. Sometimes he gets rejected
It's also true.
by a beautiful woman.
Oh,
Sometimes he
I
is.
can relate to that.
Sometimes he is the main love interest.
And dies a shit ton in Westworld.
Oh, I didn't know he was in Westworld.
Fuck, I'm sorry.
No,
Oh,
it's not.
yeah, whatever.
I'm not spoiled. I'm down to now. I want to watch Westworld.
Yeah, it's if you haven't, well, I don't feel bad for saying that about it because hey, fuck it.
yeah.
At this point, there's a commercial making fun of his character in it. I don't feel bad for spoiling it.
No,
Nice.
no. Like,
Yeah.
okay, here's my philosophy on spoiling. It is reasonable to say, like, if I found out that you were watching Game of Thrones, I would be like, oh, I won't talk about it as much around you.
Yeah.
But if you were watching Game of Thrones, like, 10 years from now, and you accidentally found something out and you got mad about it, I'd be like, calm down, Benjamin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This show's been out for years, and that's just how I feel about it. So
Yeah. That's the way. I think everyone collectively was that way about The Hobbit.
yeah,
Like the Hobbit movie, everyone was like, "Oh, spoilers!" And everyone like half the people that saw Hobbit were like, "Whoa!" And then half the people were like, "This book's 70 years old."
yeah. I feel the same way about like Harry Potter. Like,
Oh, yeah,
the
I
book's
would-
been out for years.
I haven't even seen the last Harry Potter movie. I've just read the last book 3 times.
Yeah,
Do you remember like way back in the day on like Evum's World and shit? There would be videos of people like having megaphones,
Oh,
reading
yeah.
the last few pages.
Dumbledore
Yes.
kills Snape, or Snape
Yeah.
kills Dumbledore.
I was at camp when the 6th Harry Potter book came out.
Oh.
Dang.
I was at camp, and I had gotten the book. So it actually came out right after. So I picked up the book right before I went to camp, read the entire book, and then went to camp. And literally, a camp counselor got up in front of all the kids one day and said, "Just read the 6th Harry Potter book. Ron kills Hermione." And everybody was like, "Oh my god, what happens? Ron does what?" It was hilarious because
That-
I knew. I was like, I'm in the know.
Yeah, that's amazing because that doesn't happen.
I talked to my friends and I was like, he doesn't kill Hermione. It's fine.
That's kind of fucking beautiful though.
It really
That-
is.
That's like one of those like out there things where it's like so far like in the fucking ether that it could be
Yeah,
a thing.
but still kind of
Yeah.
believable.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It was crazy.
Like down. Well, I'm not gonna jump down that roll. Just
Yeah.
somebody being like, this thing that doesn't happen happens.
Fake spoiler to a bunch of impressionable young Harry Potter fans because this was camp. So I don't remember when the 6th Harry Potter book came out, but we were like middle school, early high
Yeah,
school.
I was pretty
Yeah.
young. I was still pretty young when the
Yeah.
6th Harry Potter book came out.
Yeah.
Because I was still in elementary school when the 4th one came out.
Me too.
That
Yeah.
sounds right. Yeah.
I was in elementary school and my friend wasn't allowed to read the Harry Potter books because witches.
Yeah.
Which, like,
I had,
all right.
I had so many friends that had to say that.
Yeah, and look, I want to respect everybody's religious beliefs.
Yeah.
But come on.
Yeah.
The J.K. Rowling is not part of the witch Illuminati.
If anything,
Like,
there's
calm
way
down.
more Christian
Yeah,
symbolism
it's-
in Harry Potter than there is pagan
Harry
stuff.
Potter is a Jesus character
Yeah.
who is destined to defeat the Satan character,
Mm-hmm.
and love saves the day. Like, you know, that all to me is like what Christians want to get down to in the heart of it, you know. But point of the story is she wasn't allowed to read Harry Potter, and so I was over at her house for a day, and I wasn't allowed to talk about it at all. And the fourth book had just come out, and I was just like, "Oh my god!" I like young Ari almost exploded because of that. So
Yeah.
I believe that.
almost died. The other thing I've been thinking about a lot this week is also book related, also childhood book related. Have y'all ever read A Wrinkle in Time?
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite book series when I was a kid, and the trailer just dropped, and it looks so
amazing.
good. I'm so happy.
I not only did I read that book at least twice, I had it. That was one of the first audiobooks I purchased on the Apple iTunes store when I had my very first iPod.
That's awesome.
And I listened to that so many times because the author, Madame Langle, did the reading for that audiobook.
That's cool.
So it was really good, and she, did it the way she wanted.
You do know there's another film of...
Yes, another Disney movie, actually.
Yeah,
you watched
I
it?
remember seeing that.
It's fine. It's a little made-for-TV movie-ish.
Yeah,
Fine is a strong word.
because it was a Disney
Yeah.
original movie,
Yeah.
but it was A Wrinkle in Time.
Like in like the early aughts, mid-aughts?
Yeah.
It sounds about right.
It didn't have the budget that this one
Yeah.
clearly is going to have. Didn't have
For
the
sure.
star power. So the acting's not as good.
Yeah. It's not like Trolls 2 bad or anything. It's
Oh,
just...
no.
Yeah.
Nothing is Troll 2's bad.
Except The Room.
Yeah.
Well,
And even then, The Room
now
isn't
we're getting
Troll
in like
2's bad.
best bad movies territory.
Yeah, sorry.
and that's
my bad.
not.
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
not
let's
do
talk
that.
about bad movies.
But to go back to A Wrinkle in Time, did you ever read any of the sequels?
I did, yeah.
I never did actually.
My favorite one
good.
was the one that focused on the twins.
Yeah, that was a good
The
one.
Two Doors or Sand in Two Doors or something. I can't remember the name of it. But actually, I think I read all of the sequels actually, because I loved Meg and I loved Charles Wallace.
There was one about dolphins, wasn't there? That sounds right.
There was something
yes.
dolphin related with
Yes.
the book. Yeah.
I think it was in the twins book actually.
It's been almost 15 years since we'll say 12 or
I mean, it's
13.
been at least 10 years since I've even thought about that book. So.
That's one of the books that there are a lot of really, really good underrated children's books.
That's
Yeah.
You can make the argument that any book that's not Harry Potter or the Narnia series is a really good, is underrated.
Yeah, that's true.
But that book series, I think His Dark Materials is really great. The Phantom Tollbooth.
Fuck
remember
yeah.
that one?
Yeah.
That's
That
a really
one's
good book.
good. Yeah. I would say the Cirque du
Yeah.
Freak series. I'll throw that one out there.
I actually never read the Cirque du Freak series.
I have every single one of those
Oh,
books.
fucking
You can read them in the night because they're like 200,
a
300.
series of unfortunate events.
Yes.
Fuck yeah. I loved those books when I was a kid.
I have most of them in the original hardback in my bookshelf. I'm working on building up because I only have two. Well, I have 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 12. No, 13.
You know what's kind of magical about a series of unfortunate events?
What's that?
Is the fact that it's one of the first, not the first, and I'm actually going to talk about the first children's book I read that was like this, but it's one of the first children's, book series that I read where it was very clear to me from the beginning, hey, this might not have a happy ending.
Yeah.
And I think that that's so important for kids to go through, to be introduced to some darker storytelling, because a lot of what we get force-fed by Disney as a kid is happy endings, be yourself, love will win out. And unfortunately, and this is obvious to a lot of kids who are growing up, right now, that's not the case.
Yeah.
And a series of unfortunate events, I mean, it's not the most realistic book series,
Exactly.
but it is I mean, I can think of several real world cases where, like, the people who handled them should be in jail for their mistreatment of children. And that is pretty much what happens in a series of unfortunate events.
Yeah, pretty much.
And not the main villain, just everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody just kind of drops the ball.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of amazing.
I saw an article. I wanted to read it, but it was like, why Mr. Poe is not very good.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I want to read that because fuck, he's on a list of like terrible. I won't say he fits for what.
Yeah.
Lemony
Well,
Snicket
and
was
like
doing.
one of the whole themes of unfortunate events is that all of the adults are too busy in their own heads to worry about the Baudelaires.
Yeah.
Like Mr. Poe, he's too worried about getting a promotion, and the lizard dude is too worried about like showing his discovery to the reptile.
No matter
people.
how nice he is.
Yeah, no matter how
like,
nice
that's
he
one
is.
of their better guardians, and he's still neglectful and won't listen to what they say.
And that's the other thing, is none of the adults listen to what the Baudelaires say because they're children.
Right.
And there's this whole theme of you shouldn't write children off just because they're children. You should listen to what they say and treat them like people.
Right.
Montgomery was.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's actually, I loved the Netflix adaptation of it because I felt it was very accurate.
Right.
And it made me realize how much I liked that book series as a kid. And I started rereading the first book.
You know, that's one of those books, and there are several children's books that are just like, you read it as an adult and it has just whole different meanings for you than it did as a kid.
Yeah.
Coraline's one of those books as well. Mm-hmm. I read something about it the other day, and this is very true. Neil Gaiman said this about his own book. He said, adults read Coraline and see a child in danger that they need to, like, protect.
Yeah.
Kids read Coraline and see a child in danger and winning against that danger. Mm-hmm. And I think that that's basically the moral of this segment of the show is, don't be afraid to show darker stories to kids.
Exactly.
Because kids need them. I mean, we don't maybe need to go full 80s children's movie horror show.
Yeah, we don't need to go like, oh, everyone's fucking dead at the end. We don't need to go Shakespearean drama.
We don't need to go Dark Crystal terrifying.
Hey, I watched Dark Crystal for the first time when I was like 6 years old. It was great.
It's horrifying.
No, it's amazing. I'm going to watch it right now.
I kind of want to make you read Cirque du Freak now, because that book came out, I want to say it was in 3rd grade. When the first Harry Potter book came out. Cirque du Freak came out when I was in 4th grade, I believe. Mm-hmm. And it's a right in between, let's say, like if Eli Roth and Stephen King collaborated.
Oh, God.
It's right in between those two. It's a very dark series. Like
that sounds like an insane... I mean, I'm a huge Stephen King fan.
It's the first one's not incredibly bloody or anything, but that series goes some places, man.
Nice.
I mean, I'm willing to check it out.
The film is shitty.
Sure.
And we're talking about like an adaptation of a YA novel, but still.
Yeah.
And it has John C. Reilly in it. I love that guy.
He's there are some good adaptations of YA novels. Like, I'm not a huge Hunger Games fan, but I think the movies are pretty... They're pretty good.
I watched all of them.
I've never like read or seen anything Hunger Games related.
You put Woody Harrelson in anything and I'll watch it.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm really excited. The BBC is doing an adaptation of His Dark Materials, and I'm really excited about that.
That's awesome.
Given that trilogy the respect it deserves. Although I will say this, I just want to go a little unrelated for a minute and talk about some authors who are seriously criminally underrated, I would say.
Let's drop those names.
Yeah,
let's do it.
One of my favorite authors as a kid was Diana Wynne Jones. That name sound familiar to either of you?
What'd she write?
Her most famous novel was turned into a Miyazaki film, and that's Howl's Moving Castle.
Oh.
Now, Howl's Moving Castle, the book, is wildly different from
super different.
the movie. Still great.
Fun fact, I've never seen a Miyazaki film.
What?
Benjamin.
Just kidding. We're canceling
Canceling this.
but
Forget this podcast.
we're changing it
We're
to Hey
stopping it
Miyazaki
right now. Bennett, I have all the Miyazaki films right here. We're gonna watch them
we're
all.
watching at least one.
All of them.
I have to work tomorrow, and both of you are coming to my house this weekend.
Yeah.
All right, fine.
And
Saturday, we're bringing over a Miyazaki movie.
I have several.
I feel like you would actually really like Princess Mononoke.
I loved Princess Mononoke.
Did
We
he
all
make
did.
Spirited Away?
Yeah.
I almost watched that last night.
God damn it,
It's
Ben.
insane that you didn't. It's
Well, I
insane.
mean, when I say yesterday, I mean this morning. I watched Pitch Black instead.
You watched Pitch Black instead of Spirited. You're
God
wrong.
damn.
You were wrong to
Wrong.
watch that.
I
I don't even know what Pitch Black is about, and I already hate it.
It's one of the best science fiction films. I love it. It's not. I would say it's more actiony sci-fi, but it's still fucking good.
Well,
yeah.
it's not better than Spirited fucking Away. All right, that won an Academy Award. God damn it.
Princess Mononoke is my favorite Miyazaki movie. It is also the first one I ever saw when I was definitely in 4th grade when I saw it, so I was like 9 or 10.
Yeah.
And it was one of the most violent movies I'd seen at the time.
Yeah.
But also, it fucking blew me away. I didn't know that animation could be like that when I was that age. Because to me, animation was Ed, Ed, and Eddie and SpongeBob and that kind of stuff. And then I saw that and I was just like...
I think my first Miyazaki film was Kiki's Delivery Service.
That's a good one.
Because that movie used to play on Cartoon Network all the time.
It did.
They're all great. Like, you really... I would be hard-pressed to name a Miyazaki movie that isn't, like, at least good, if not great. You know, even the ones that aren't as good as, like, his powerhouses are still better than, quite frankly, no offense, anything that fucking DreamWorks has put out. Yeah. I'm dropping them truth bombs. I'm just kidding. I do like a lot of DreamWorks films.
I'm not gonna defend.
I like some DreamWorks films, but I also agree with you on that. Like,
Yeah. How to Train Your Dragon is probably my favorite DreamWorks film, and I still don't think it holds a candle to anything.
What, you mean it's not Shrek 2?
I knew somebody was gonna drop a Shrek 2 reference there. I fucking knew it.
You mean it's not Shrek 4, the 4th inning?
Here's the thing. I actually like Shrek 2 more than I like Shrek.
I can't blame
I've
you,
seen
honestly.
Shrek 3, and I refuse to accept that
Have
it
you
is
seen
a
the one
movie.
where they have like 7 kids?
That's Shrek 4, and
Is
no,
that,
I
yeah.
haven't.
I've seen all 4 of the Shreks. I think there's 5 now.
That's insane. Why did you watch all 4 of those movies?
Because I was young and impressionable.
All right. I guess that's what happened. I don't know what to tell you.
I also saw.
I'm sorry that happened to
I
you.
also went on the Shrek 4D ride when I
Oh
was in
my
Universal. Got sprayed in the face.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shrek is
back
love.
To,
Shrek
back,
is
to,
life. Is love. Shrek is life.
back to Diana Wynne Jones for a minute
Okay.
because I seriously cannot let this author go. She actually died a couple years ago.
Aw.
Very sadly. But before she died, she was a prolific writer. She wrote some amazing children's books, including the Crestomancy series and Howl's Moving Castle, which we discussed, and Witched Week. Just a lot of really great fantasy novels that I think, you know, more people need to know about and need to read. And, you know, if I ever have kids, which... let's put it this way. If my brother and sister ever have kids, then, you know, those are books that I'm going to give to them. So... yeah, I don't know. Lots of really great children's literature that people just don't...
Also,
there's more than Harry Potter out there, guys. And I love Harry Potter, but there's more than just Harry Potter.
How do you pronounce his name? Roald Dahl?
Yeah.
Roald Dahl.
Yeah.
Oh,
BFG,
well,
Matilda.
I actually watched the BFG movie not that long ago.
Really?
Really nice.
Oh.
Really good and like a good, fun movie.
That's
it was
nice.
It was basically exactly what I was expecting it to be.
Roald Dahl is, or was, he's dead now, violently anti-Semitic.
Yeah.
Just to destroy somebody's childhood.
That's you know, like my buddy Evan says about Henry Ford. You know, he was right about the assembly line, not so much that anti-Semitism.
Yeah. I mean, to be a fan of any classic literature is to be a fan of somebody who is violently sexist.
Yeah.
So...
and an alcoholic.
an alcoholic. One of which I have more of a problem with morally than the other.
Yeah.
And I'll let you decide which one.
It's drinking.
It's drinking. No, I'm a huge, like, fucking Ernest Hemingway fan.
Mm-hmm.
He definitely was terrible to all the women in his life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's just a hard reality of being a fan of classic literature, if you are at all.
I have something to say.
All
Okay.
right.
Some
Buddy once told me the world was
okay,
gonna
I don't want to
roll
get
me.
sued.
That's all copyright, yeah.
Not it was only 8 seconds. I can cut it to 8 seconds, and it won't be fair use. Fair use.
So we're watching.
Yeah, what are we gonna watch?
Episode 2, season 1. It's called Wendigo.
Wendigo.
And it's about
horses, right?
No.
Like windy. They're like windy horses.
No, so wrong.
Running through the wind.
It's about somebody named Wendigo who just has a super nice day and eats a sandwich.
Okay.
Shit.
And nothing scary happens at all. All right.
Well, I believe you.
Awesome.
All right.
Great.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Well, we watched episode 2.
Yeah.
And so basically what goes on is we see a very exciting recap. Very dramatic recap. And then there's like a scene where they're like, okay, we gotta go find Dad. And they go off to these and and we see another opening scene that is, what I can gather, is pretty typical for Supernatural. It is something generally not relating to the Winchester brothers, but relating to an incident they are about to encounter, where just some good old red shirts are just doing something. They're in the woods. Here they were in the woods. Sometimes they're like driving a car. Other times they're just like about to fuck or something. I don't know. But
you're doing pretty good. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
But so they're in the woods and they get attacked by something, and I think it's because of this guy's Pucka Shells that he's wearing.
He's wearing some of the most 90s / early 2000s Pucka Shells.
And so we see this, and the Winchesters roll up to the location of these coordinates, which is this state park in Colorado. And then as they get there, they hear news of this attack. They're like, oh, we should check that out. And so they do that. And then they get through this whole story of like, these attacks happen every 23 years on the dot. And there's no way it's just bears, because bears aren't that synchronized.
Bears are terrible timekeepers.
Because and we find out what this monster is by going to a dude who was attacked back in the 50s as a kid, and he was able to escape. And he said, well, this thing, it wasn't a grizzly. It was able to unlock our cabin door. And I was like, so it could have been a circus grizzly. You never know.
A bear with tricks.
A bear with tricks.
Bears terrible with time, fantastic with locks.
Oh, yeah.
Bears,
Grade A lock
tricks,
picks. If
tricks
you
bear.
get locked out of your apartment, don't knock your door down.
Get a bear.
Get a bear.
But specifically a circus bear. You
circus
can't
bear,
just
yeah.
get a run-of-the-mill bear.
Yeah, because it'll eat you.
It will.
But anyway, so they find out that it is a Wendigo. And they go out to the woods where this attack was, and there's this whole thing with like the dude that got attacked, his family was like, oh, he's like missing, and that's how they found out about it. But so they go to this camp, and they start, hearing things, this is one thing I didn't know about the Wendigo, is that I didn't realize that it could mimic human speech like that.
Well,
like it could.
We're going to go into
Okay.
what the
Yeah.
Wendigo
We'll,
can and
we'll
can't
get
do.
to that later.
There's a lot of like supernatural only.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
aspects.
Gotcha.
It's to tidy up a monster they'll borrow or replace or things like
Gotcha.
that.
Yeah.
And so the Wendigo starts attacking, and then they're able to follow it to this abandoned mine where they find the kids and another dead person, and they attack it, and they shoot it with a flare gun, and it's very cool. And then they're like, well, we did that. How was that for a recap?
It was very good. Yeah. Cue
And then
classic rock.
Classic rock music.
It was pretty good. It was good job, Travis. Claps for Travis. Claps. Good job. What, first time seeing the episode?
Yeah.
Nailing it.
Nailing it.
See, when we started watching, I was like, I kind of wanted to do the recap, so maybe I should write this down. And I was like, nah, I'm just going to watch the episode.
Notes are for kids.
Notes are for kids.
Tricks are for bears.
I got
Notes
it.
are for kids. I'm no bear, I'm a lady.
I got it all on lockdown.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that they tracked they were able to find the mine by tracking a trail of Pucka Shells.
No, they were.
No, they did.
And
They
broken
were-
DS
no.
pieces.
Yeah, broken.
Yeah, so
3DS
Dean and
DS pieces.
Dean and the sister of the guy who was originally kidnapped, the one with the Pucka Shells, which, quite frankly, we think why the Wendigo targeted him.
Yeah.
He wanted those sweet Pucka Shells for himself.
Yeah, wanted to look
Wouldn't
like a
you?
super cool dude.
Yeah, no, I don't, because I do not live in that time period anymore. I have grown past it, and I'm happy about that.
Fair enough.
But Dean and Haley is the girl's name. They get kidnapped by the Wendigo, and Dean, so that Sam can find them, leaves a trail of peanut M&Ms.
Yeah.
The snack of champions.
Very E.T.
Very E.T.
Yep, right next to those Pucka Shells.
E.T.
Champions and the
phone
Winchesters.
Save Me from the Wendigo. So, Save Me from the Wendigo sounds like a great song name.
It does, actually.
ET satellite phone home.
E.T. satellite. There was a lot of mention of satellite
Yeah.
phones.
Okay, and that was the other thing. When I was watching this episode, this dude was like recording video messages of himself on this like very early generation smartphone. And what it was actually a later generation Palm Pilot that could receive emails and it had a full QWERTY keyboard. And my mom had that exact model phone.
You were obsessed with the fact that it was the same phone.
It was a cool phone.
It was
It was like one of the coolest phones I'd ever seen in 2004.
And you knew what game they were playing on those.
And I knew what
DSs.
game they were playing on the DS.
Jesus.
It was Metroid Prime Hunters. Very
Travis is
not great
living
game.
in the early 2000s.
I don't think we could have picked somebody better for this.
We really
Do you-
couldn't have.
I'm younger than you guys. My formative years were 2000 to 2010.
You say you're younger than us, like...
I'm only like 2 years younger.
yeah,
than
you say you're younger than us, like you're 12 and we're 35, and that's not the case.
Okay, secretly, I am 24, but they're actually 10 years older than they
That's,
say.
wow, not true. Very
Not
wrong.
true at all.
Very wrong.
Ari
Okay.
is 67.
I am actually 137 years old.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. I'm not.
I'm only 45.
I could
I'm an
tell
old
because your
soul.
hair, your gray hair was starting to come back.
I dyed it this way.
Sure, yeah.
J'accuse.
That's what they say.
All right. I think for the first couple of seasons, we're just gonna be like, weren't the early 2000s so wacky?
What a
Because
wacky time.
What a wacky time. We're gonna be like Pucka Shells. The fact that they had to specify satellite phones,
Yeah.
as opposed to
Anything else?
landlines,
Yeah,
I guess.
landlines.
We're still in.
Well, there were mobile phones, but there were
Yeah, but I guess
the
they were
Nokia phones and the
going
flip phones
over
and shit like
radio
that.
or something.
Yeah.
I don't fucking know.
But we're still in like the part of Supernatural where things. I'm not gonna say the later seasons aren't fun, but it just seems like it maybe just because those early 2000s things.
Yeah, it's very campy.
Yeah.
and you pointed that out while we were watching this. There was this chase scene where were they chasing the Wendigo or was the Wendigo chasing them?
Yeah,
The Wendigo was chasing them, and there was this like super funny chase music going on. It was just like.
Here's how I felt during that, though. Because legitimately, okay, I was like, yeah, when I was a kid, I was really scared of this. Just
And
kidding.
you were
I was
still
really
really
scared.
Yeah.
Then-
I'm easily scared.
And there was that time you were like ready for it. You were like jump scare, jump scare, jump scare, jump scare, jump scare.
And then, yeah, that's while Sam's in the mine and, like, he's like, I'm ready for this Wendigo to come attack me. And I was so ready for the Wendigo to just be like, ha-ha, I'm here. I have arrived.
That was
I'm
one thing.
coming out. Fucking, like...
That was one thing I appreciated about this episode. We never really saw the Wendigo.
Yeah.
Even while they were confronting it, we only saw like the back of it. We only saw its face like once.
Yeah.
And then the only
Well, I
like
think
full
that's-
body shot of it we had was when it was being lit on fire.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think that's what helped make this episode, scary is
Yeah.
because, I mean, this is, Supernatural is not doing anything groundbreaking here. This is...
No, but it's taking the right moves and the right elements to make something good.
Right.
Exactly.
Like
Oh, sorry, go on.
the original Rosemary's Baby doesn't show the baby at fucking all. Like the remake, it does.
Right.
Why was the original more scary? Because you don't see the fucking baby.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
It's like,
Because Because the imagination is better than whatever you can put on the fucking screen.
People think like, oh, it's because they didn't have the effects, and it's like, no,
it's
because
like
smart directors know
scarier.
what suspense means. Alfred Hitchcock says suspense is not just a bomb underneath a table with people sitting at it. It's letting the audience know there's a bomb underneath the table with people sitting at it, but nothing else.
Yeah.
The characters don't know. We don't know the timer on the bomb. We don't know what's going to happen. That's good suspense.
Yeah.
Knowing there's a monster in the wood that's trying to attack them, but not knowing anything else about it other than like a couple of key things, that's what makes it suspenseful. Yeah. And if Supernatural had just been like, blah, blah, here's the monster, it wouldn't have been as good.
It really wouldn't have.
But what really scared me when I saw it for the first time and also today was the human mimicry that he does.
Yeah.
When they're standing in the woods and they're in this like protective circle and like the Wendigo's like, help me, help me, help me. It's fucking terrifying, especially since it works. Roy runs out and is like, time to get it. And it's just like, fuck you, man.
What was really fucked up is that the Wendigo made it sound like it had been shot. And that's what made him chase it.
Yes. It sounded like wounded.
Yeah.
Even though
it
Sam and Dean had been like, hey man, guns don't fucking work.
Yeah.
The number one way to die in the show is to not listen to the Winchesters.
Absolutely.
The number two way is to be a woman. Ben, thank you for that very comical insight.
You're welcome.
The number three way is to listen to the Winchesters. Those are the rules.
Or just to be around them.
Just to be around them. Just don't hang out with the Winchesters, guys. They may seem cool, but like...
Not really.
Get away.
They'll kill you. Something else will kill you. It's a bad scene.
Yeah, it's a bad time. Ben, I want to hear some of your thoughts on the episode. Expound it a little bit.
I really think this was a great second episode. I talked in our first episode that we did about how good the pilot is, and it's a great pilot. This is a great second episode because it sets up for the Freak of the Week motif. Mm-hmm. And it does it in a really good way where it feels like a good film. Like everything we've talked about is a really good idea for a movie. Like the bad sci-fi movies. What do? You see the monster within 15 minutes. Mm-hmm. And like we talked about earlier, you barely see the fucking monster at all.
It's awesome.
And then, like, you have all the motifs and everything that are just fucking great. The best thing about this episode, honestly, the opening sequence. In my opinion, that and like how
when all the dudes are in the tent.
Because that lets you know that it's not that serious of a show.
Right. Yeah, it is still it is super goofy.
Yeah.
But it's still like, there's some shit going on.
That it's gonna be campy and it's gonna be fun, but it's also gonna be scary with the jump scares.
With the jump scares.
But it's going.
I really liked the Carrie reference. Mm-hmm. In not the opening scene, but the scene after the opening scene, we see Sam going to Jess's grave. Jess being his girlfriend who died, episode 1. See Sam going to Jess's grave and being like, I am so sorry this happened. I should have protected you. Which, by the way, side note for a second, I fucking agree. Not that, like, okay, Sam obviously can't be there to hold her hand all the time, right? And, like, it's not his fault that this demon came back. But he says, I should have told you the truth. And yes. Yes.
Yeah.
This is a pet peeve of mine with like superheroes where the secret identity is a big thing.
Yeah.
Like, fine. You don't let your enemies know who you are. But you should let your family know.
Yeah. Let your family and your loved ones know.
Exactly. And Sam should have been like, hey, this is going to sound fucking nuts. Please don't break up with me. Demons exist.
Demons exist, and my family hunts them.
My family hunts them. Usually doesn't go that great. We're gonna put some salt on the windows. You guys chill with that? Cool. Peace. And like,
if you want to make a really, really long, drawn out poll, you could, going back to the superhero thing that you said a second ago, you could talk about how the knowledge that the Winchesters have is their superpower about all the monsters and shit.
Sure.
And then we're going to tie this back to Spider-Man.
Oh, God.
Yes. But continue.
Specifically, like, let's say Jess is Uncle Ben. Specifically, the scene in the first Tobey Maguire movie when he goes to win all that money to... I don't remember what he needed the money for, but he doesn't tell Uncle Ben what's up.
Car.
Yeah, and his hubris gets Uncle Ben killed.
Right, which is why... And that's a thing, like a big deal in the comics, too. Is that, you know, Peter Parker gets these powers. He's kind of a dickhead with them. And then Uncle Ben dies, and he's like, oh, shit. With great power comes great responsibility. Fuck, I knew that's... Okay, it all clicks.
It all clicks.
Speaking of superheroes, this is... there was a moment where... Oh, fuck, I forgot to... Here's the Carrie thing.
Okay.
The Carrie reference. So he goes and he's like... Sam's at Jess's grave, and he's like... I'm so sorry. Should have protected you. And then he leans down to put flowers on it, and then Jess's hand pops out of the grave.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a reference to the... Specifically the 70s Carrie movie. Mm-hmm. Where, you know, Sue is apologizing to Carrie for, like... I don't know... Convincing her boyfriend to take Carrie to the prom. And Carrie's hand pops out of the popsicle stick grave, and fucking... That's the last shot. Yeah. Of course, it's all a dream. He wakes up. He's like, oh, God. I'm severely traumatized, but I refuse to talk about it. Early masculinity in the early 2000s / today.
Now, I know this is a supernatural podcast, and this might be like a double rhinoplasty. 2 on the nose. But every time you say Carrie, I can only think of one thing. Kansas, motherfuckers. Hey. I'll sue myself out.
It's not 2 on the nose. It's never 2 on the nose. But superheroes real quick. There was something that kind of tickled me when Dean first meets Haley, right? And they've got like a little like flirtation going on. Mm-hmm. And you can tell that Dean's going to like her because Haley sees the Impala and is like, nice car.
Yeah.
And this just reminds me of a trope in movies where like a girl impresses a guy with her knowledge of like...
Of cars.
Cars are traditionally male things.
Yeah.
It'll be like... A girl will be like, well, actually, I don't know if you know this, but Superman is faster than a speeding bullet. And then the guy's like, oh, impressed. As if like... Superman is not common knowledge, you know what I mean? So it's just, Haley said that, and I was like, yeah, you're really fucking going deep with the car shit there. I can see why he likes you.
That's also another thing is, like, girls that always go for the guy with the nice car. Like, that was always a thing. And, like, it's a thing in Twin Peaks, and then it gets turned around because of the whole deal. But, yeah.
That could be a Twin Peaks reference, but I like to think...
It's not.
Like, Dean is a character that is very much entrenched in your older 80s action film heroes.
Sure. Yeah.
So, the motif of, like, the girl being like, oh, hey, sweet ride.
Yeah.
Could be like, oh, is that a 7-banger with a massive Hemi in it?
Which, incidentally, the reason why Peter Parker, bringing it all around... The reason why Peter Parker wants money for a car is to get MJ.
Yeah.
Hey.
Which is crazy because I've known
that blunt.
I was going to say
that blunt is, her holding hands with MJ.
Yeah.
Because
both of
they're in high school.
Are making much better jokes than what I was thinking. He wanted a BJ from MJ.
Lame. But I like it.
A beach for the Meej.
Oh my God. Okay, we're
lame,
done.
Lame.
Something I thought was interesting was there's this moment when they're in the woods and they're all the Winchesters start getting all weird about their demon shit, and then they're like, "You should explain yourselves," and then they say something, and then like. Sam gives Dean this look, and then Dean is like, okay. And I thought that was like, oh, Dean's totally going to start hitting on Haley. and I was like, all right, Dean's about to work in the moves. And then he was like, my family are demon hunters. I was like, that's not the move. That's
I cannot tell you, actually, if somebody came up to me, and I was like younger, right? Somebody came up to me and was like, I have to... Like, we were like casual flirtation, and then to bring out the big guns, they were like, my family are demon hunters. I would be like, oh my God, tell me more. I am so invested. Let's get married.
I would too. I'd be like, tell me where I can see some fucking ghosts.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I'd be like, suddenly I believe in ghosts. They clearly exist in this universe.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Even
for
though they
finally
don't
seeing my
exist
way.
in this
Oh,
one.
no, we turned it around.
In the one that we currently live in.
Nope.
But the fictional one,
Earth 2.
where
we like
my
to call it.
flirtation person is a demon hunter,
Yeah, but
clearly ghosts exist.
ghosts do exist, so it's
Sure.
fine.
Okay. Well, you know, we're not having this discussion
No,
on
we're not
air
having this
again.
So this Wendigo.
Well, actually,
Do you have more about the episode? I want to talk about the Wendigo.
I kind of have more about the episode.
Oh yeah.
I kind of want to say one thing about Supernatural as a whole, and I realized this as I don't know how many times I've seen the show all the way through, but something, because the mimicry of sounds, I do not believe is a Wendigo thing. It might be, I could be wrong, but I know it's a Skinwalker thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But that's only because I've watched a bunch of short stories about those. But no, like watching Supernatural, you have to suspend your disbelief of things you already
Yeah.
kind of don't believe in a
That's
little
true.
bit more,
Yeah.
and just take what they give you and roll with that, and you're fine.
All the supernatural creatures, even the ones that are closest to their, and I am putting on the bunny ears for this, real world counterparts, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
None of us believe vampires exist. Travis. We're going to have a talk.
Okay, but continue.
Anyways, the point is that, you know, even vampires, though they're probably the closest to like the mythological vampire we know outside of Supernatural,
Right.
have some sort of like supernatural twist, you know?
Yeah.
Same with the werewolves.
I feel like you have to do that in any urban fantasy
Right.
series or situation, because it's almost like, yeah, I mean, here's a monster everyone knows about, but how can we make it unique to this series?
Well,
Yeah.
and I think
And I feel like that's important in urban fantasy.
I think the reason why humans even have a chance, hunters have a chance against all these supernatural creatures, is because every supernatural creature in Supernatural has to follow rules.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
humans don't have to follow any rules. You know, ghosts can't go into a salt line. The Wendigos stopped by, you know,
The symbol thing.
the symbols, the charms in the dirt.
But if you made a monster that was completely unstoppable, like sure, that would be cool
Then,
for like
yeah.
30 minutes, but
And
it
then
would
it
not
just
be.
wouldn't-
Well,
It
yeah,
wouldn't
but
be
it'd be
interesting
boring
anymore.
because
Yeah.
our heroes would have no chance.
Exactly.
And we do meet those monsters, and they either we find out that they do have to they do have rules, and we find that out as the series goes on, and that's what makes it fun, or B, they end up having a change of heart and like being chill,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
Which is equally interesting sometimes.
Sure, yeah, of course. But I actually want to talk about the heart-to-heart talk that Sam and Dean have, where
Yeah.
they're like, basically, to sum up, Sam's like, what are we doing out here in these fucking woods?
Oh yeah, yeah.
We got these trash babies here hunting for a goddamn Wendigo. They don't even know what it is. They're going to get killed, definitely.
The only reason they don't know what it is because they don't fucking tell them.
Yeah, well, yeah,
Yeah,
they
but-
eventually they do. But
Anyway.
we got these trash mammals chilling around, fucking not going anywhere, going to get eaten.
Gonna get ate by this Wendigo.
Gonna get it. we gotta get these people out of here, and we gotta go find our fucking dad.
Yeah.
Because there's this monster that we've been searching for 22 years. I feel like it's a little more important right now.
I think that kind of shows their like order of operations kind of thing, you know? Because they realize, oh, hey, there are actually people in danger. They kind of come first.
Right.
Yeah.
We're going to saddle our problems off to the side here and knock this shit out and then go on our merry way to find Daddy.
Well, and that's essentially what Dean says. Dean
Yeah.
says, like,
Yeah.
hey, I get that you want to kill the thing that killed Jess. I get it. But here's the thing. It's not going to happen for a while. You just got to focus your rage on killing these other monsters and
Yeah.
helping people. And I think there's something that Supernatural kind of loses along the way. That are really, two things actually, that are really explicit in this scene. And that is the desire to help people. And
Wow.
brotherly relationship between Sam and Dean.
Yeah.
Not that that ever fully goes away. Neither of those things really do. They just morph and change as the show goes on. And I just kind of want to know, Ben, specifically, like, your thoughts.
Well, you could tell I was about to say something, but yeah, no. The thing about them helping people, they kind of realize, hey, sometimes people are the bad guy, and the monsters are just trying to live their lives.
That's true, and we actually realized that this first season.
Yep.
Sometimes people are the bad guys.
But also, like, that's what keeps the show interesting, is like their evolution of their morals and their thought processes and everything like that.
And I think it's safe to say, you know, the Winchesters are fairly amoral characters. I mean, they're not amoral, but if you were to judge them by like our standards, I would be like, oh, these people are criminals who need to be in jail for a very long time.
I would put them in like the lawful neutral kind of section. Maybe even like chaotic neutral.
Yeah.
I would say chaotic neutral.
Because they're like, boo, we gotta do what we want.
Not true neutral, that's
Not
for
true
sure.
neutral, no.
And not even chaotic good.
No.
You could make the argument that Sam is more lawful.
Yeah, see,
Yes.
that's what I was going for. Like,
Yeah.
Sam is lawful, Dean is chaotic, and then they come together to balance each other out.
Exactly.
And I think they're...
But still not a true neutral.
And I would say...
Ooh. I can't wait for a few seasons till I can say something.
Oh.
Shit.
You're going to be waiting a while, buddy.
Yep.
But yeah, let's talk about the Wendigo.
Yeah, so one thing that reminded me right off the bat was it's a monster that eats people, and then it comes around every 23 years, and I immediately thought of the movie Jeepers Creepers. That's just what my mind immediately went to.
I think it's just like kind of a common horror movie trope.
Just a monster that hibernates and comes out in cycles.
Sure. Well, you
Yeah.
even see it, and I cannot believe I'm referencing this, Hocus Pocus.
It's true.
Where the, you know, what are their names? Henderson?
It's H something.
It is H something. The three witches.
Siri, you know in the...
Shut up, Travis. Shut up, Travis. Damn it, Travis.
We should probably get that recorded once, just so if you ever do that again,
Yeah,
the
just so
audience
people will be
knows.
like, oh, that's what it is.
Oh, yeah. They hate that.
Yeah,
They already hate it.
they already hate it.
But the sisters, you know, are killed, and they say, hey, we're going to be back if a virgin ever lights this candle.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of a thing where it's like, what's this evil doing? Just chilling, just hanging out for a little bit, and then it's going to pop
Evil-
back up one day.
Evil likes to be pretty dormant.
Yep.
And it's like,
Evil is
hey,
lazy.
did some weird dude light a candle and kiss a frog and lick a toad and then tap on a turtle 3 times and then light another candle and then put that other candle out with the turtle? Perfect. Here we go.
Can we talk about a plot hole in Hocus Pocus?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, if you want, but like, that movie is perfect. I refuse to accept criticism.
When you were 13 or 14 years old, when you were like, hey, there's a cool candle, let me light that sumbitch. No.
Yeah. I mean,
No, wait, hold on. He does it because there's specifically a legend about it.
Oh, okay.
He does
Yeah.
it because everybody in Salem is like, yeah, if a virgin lights this candle,
I just
they'll
thought
come back.
Then why light the candle?
I think it's because he
wanted to see if
doesn't
it was
believe
true.
it. He doesn't
Okay.
believe it.
All right.
I think the unrealistic part is a 15-year-old boy is willing to be like, oh, yeah, I'm totally a virgin.
yeah.
fucking right.
I haven't had sex with anybody,
Not even your mom.
not even your mom. That's what I think is unrealistic.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
There we go.
I'll give you points for pointing out a plot hole
Yeah. Yeah.
In a 20-year-old movie.
in a 20-year-old movie. That's great and a delight.
It is a fun
Yep.
movie.
It's fun.
If they remade that movie today, who do you think would cast? Who do you think would play the three witches?
Isn't Bette Midler
Jinx
was one of them,
Monsoon.
right?
Bette Midler was one of them. Jinx Monsoon would be amazing. For those of you who don't know, / Benjamin, Jinx Monsoon is a drag queen and performer who appeared on RuPaul's Drag Race.
The name sounds like it would be on that show.
Yes. Well,
I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, I've seen the first season, so I know roundabout how names work.
She's so talented and great, and she's my favorite for the season she's on.
I mean, you saw this picture, right?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
That's a picture of Jinx dressed as one of the, I want to say it's Henderson sisters.
Yeah.
That sounds
Something
right.
like that.
Let's get into a
Anyway,
weird place.
more visual references for an audio podcast.
Yep.
Cliff notes or
We'll
MLA
put it in the
or...
we'll put it in the notes. Just kidding.
Yeah.
We're putting nothing in the notes.
Nothing in the notes. There's no notes.
Also, because I don't think we can share that picture.
Yeah, probably not.
You could
Probably not.
link to it. You couldn't.
Yeah, we could link to Jinx's
Okay.
Instagram account,
Yeah.
and they could find it themselves.
Yeah.
So, do you guys want to talk about like
So like
Wendigos in real life?
Yeah,
Versus...
so there's actually like a real history to the Wendigo, or like
Yeah.
a real like legend
Yeah.
It is
for the Wendigo that's kind of based in Native American
Yeah.
folklore.
They are a couple different Native American tribes. Algonquin is one. Creek is another. A couple of other ones with names that are very hard to pronounce.
Yeah, there's also like 20 different ways to spell Wendigo.
Yes. And apparently pronounce it, because they said Wendigo,
Yeah,
in the
Wendigo.
episode. And that's probably more correct,
I say
but...
Wendigo.
Wendigo?
Wendigo.
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 But the Wendigo in these myths are actually can be two different types of creatures. So it can be a spirit motivated by greed, and it can be the cannibalistic monster, which is the one we saw in the episode.
Right.
Now, in the supernatural episode, a Wendigo is specifically
Yeah.
a person,
A human.
who has been turned into a monster because they ate a ton of human flesh.
Well, and not only because they ate a ton of human flesh, because that was their only option.
That was their only option.
They
Right.
were
So I
cut off-
guess...
they were cut off from their main resources and found themselves in a situation where they had to
Only feast on long
only
pig.
feast on humans, which was they made a reference to in the episode, like the Donner Party.
Yeah, the Donner Party, other situations where a human might be trapped with only another human to feast upon.
Yeah.
Like a
My
mind
13th
collapse, yeah.
birthday party. There are tons of examples. But yeah, so specifically that is how you become a Wendigo in Supernatural. Now, in, these cultures, that's not necessarily the case. In fact, the cannibalistic monster could just be a human, like a normal human, who's being possessed by this greed spirit. So those are a couple of the differences. And then Supernatural, I can't find any reference to the sleeping for 23 years.
Yeah,
Or the
that-
voice mimicry.
I think
Yeah.
that was definitely something. And I was telling Ben this. I feel like the 23 years thing, that was something that was just pointed out again to show how Sam does his research.
Right.
He was like, there's a pattern of this happening every 23 years. Kind of like with the white lady, the lady in white, the ghost,
The woman in white.
woman in white.
Right.
Who, she did this thing every so often.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's like a big motif in the show later on is that like just because it happens doesn't mean that it's reported,
Right, yeah.
or it's not reported in the way that you think.
Right.
Yeah.
At the end of this episode, so the park rangers are all like bear attacks.
Yeah.
Which, like, I guess, I don't know. I'm not an outdoorsy person, as we mentioned last
mean,
episode,
yeah.
not wildlife experts.
When you come across a campsite that has been abandoned and it looks like it has been rummaged through and there's obvious claw marks on tents and the tents are all torn up.
Sure, you're going to be like bear
And-
attack.
Yeah, bear attack. And the big giveaway is that the food has been ravaged.
Right, but the people don't necessarily disappear in that situation, or am I wrong?
Well, if the it can either be the bear killed them on sight and their bodies would still be there, or they ran and the bear chased them.
Okay, that's a good point.
So they can still be like, they ran so far away from the campsite and the bear tracked them there and killed them. But yeah, a bear doesn't just like drag a body back to its cave.
Unlike a mountain lion, you are not supposed to fight a bear if you meet one in the
if
wild.
you see a bear, fucking run.
Did y'all notice anything when they were panning over the tent scene other than the sheer amount of blood on the tent? Was there anything missing from that scene?
The Pucka Shells.
The Pucka Shells and the backpacks,
Yeah, the
which we
Wendigo-
see back in the mine shaft when they
Yeah,
find
that
the
is
body.
true.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
Because the Wendigo also distracts them with the voice mimicry, distracts them, and then steals their supplies.
Yep.
And I think that's just because in a situation where if one of them escapes and tries to go for help,
Yeah.
they can't because they don't, maybe they're lost or...
Right.
They're not gonna know
and the
where the
Wendigo
fuck
will be able to find them again.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Also, a bear doesn't take a to-go box,
True.
so they're not gonna
Which
carry
is another
a body.
reason why it's like not a bear.
Exactly.
Excuse me.
That's still the best way to describe.
Sure, yeah. If I'm a
What?
layman and I don't know
Yeah.
that supernatural things exist,
Yeah.
then I'm going to be like, bear. Definitely. And we see at the end of the episode, you know, everybody's like, oh my God, we found the brother. And Roy, the guy who took Haley and the kid brother in the woods, that guy is dead. How are we going to explain this? And we see them being like, definitely a bear. Definitely a fucking bear attack.
Yeah.
But that's not every episode. Not every episode is like, there needs to be an explanation to the police.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Sometimes they're just like, time to get the fuck out of Dodge before the police ask
up.
questions because we have no answers and like a ton of dead bodies.
Yep.
That's actually kind of one of the tragic things about Supernatural is if you get accused of killing somebody and you're the only possible explanation,
That shit sticks.
that should stick. You have no other, like, the hunters are not going to be like, hold on, I know a great defense attorney who will kindly explain to the judge that ghosts exists.
Yeah.
No, you're just fucked. And what's more is like a loved one has died and you're going down as their murderer and you're definitely innocent. And nobody, as far as you know, nobody's going to find out who killed them.
Yeah.
Just kind of like a sad aspect of living in that crap sack world.
Yep.
Yeah, would not want to live in the supernatural universe.
No, sounds scary.
Especially not just as myself, right? Like, I'm not a hunter type person.
Well, that's like asking the question, like, would you rather live now or in any other time?
Oh, now.
Yeah,
Right?
now for sure.
Or
Yeah.
maybe the future if we solve global warming now.
You only have the choice between, like, now and the past.
Oh, now,
Yeah.
definitely.
If you have the only choice between, like, now and Supernatural Universe.
Now,
Yeah.
here.
Hell yeah. I would rather watch Supernatural from the
Yes.
comfort.
Yes, and be like, ghosts aren't going to attack me because
Yeah.
guess what? They don't exist.
Exactly.
Okay, so you know, at the beginning of this episode when we said something about Wendigo and I mentioned horses,
Yes.
I'm gonna explain that
Okay.
because
Explain the Wendigo horse connection.
so Wendigos are also associated, like being associated with the cannibalism thing and famine. They're also associated with winter and the north and being cold because all of that is also like associated with famine because it's usually harder to get food in the winter.
Well, and they're greed spirits. So think about it. If
Yeah.
you're part of a, you know, culture that depends on, and you're living up north in the wintertime and your resources are limited.
Yeah.
And it depends on everybody in your fucking village getting together and like sharing resources. You do not want somebody who's being greedy.
Yeah.
Right? So if you would make up a story where it's like, a greed monster will come get you and force you to eat human flesh if you hide your extra Pucka Shells away.
Yeah.
You gotta fucking share that shit.
But so specifically relating to the cold and winter,
Sorry, continue.
there is an episode of My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic
Oh my god.
where the main bad for that episode are the Wendigos. And they are ghost horses that
my
make
God.
everything cold.
It all comes together. It all the same. You said horse, and I was like, what the fuck? No, I don't think so.
Full equestrian circle. God damn it, Travis.
God
I
damn
did it.
Travis.
I made it happen.
You're,
Sorry.
I'm going to say this, and this is the only time I'm going to say this.
Yeah.
Your bronyism has answered so many questions. Saved the fucking day, really.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm
For the
sorry.
record, I'm not.
I blew up the mic.
Not
You're not a
like-
brony.
I'm not
I
a
know.
brony.
I'm sorry.
But
And there's nothing wrong with being a brony as long as you're not creepy about it. All right.
So last thoughts.
Last thoughts? Yeah.
A lot of bad jokes and things were said. That's my only thought for this right now. That's
Oh.
the last thought.
Final thoughts on the episode. I thought it was scary when I was a kid. I think it's scary now.
Is it the only Wendigo episode?
I think so.
I'm pretty sure it's the only fucking one.
Yeah, we're gonna have to wait till season 23 when another one comes out of hibernation.
Yeah.
No, they're referenced.
That's why they keep renewing it.
Yeah,
Because
because
we
gotta
wanna
wait
see
for
more.
that next Wendigo episode.
Yeah.
That's gonna be the second to last episode of Supernatural. Is they're gonna do a Wendigo episode, and then Sam's girlfriend is gonna die in the last episode again,
Oh my god.
and then it's gonna be over.
I mean, Sam's girlfriend has died
So many times.
so many times.
Oh yeah,
I mean, different people, but yeah.
nice.
But I think we've mentioned this before to you, Travis. But a cool thing about Supernatural is that there's a big bad.
Yeah.
If
yeah.
the last big bad of the series is just a king Wendigo,
Yeah.
I'd be kind of down for that.
I would be kinda down
It's
for
just
that.
the same Wendigo, but it's like 3 feet taller and it has a hat.
And also, can
Wendigo versus Lucifer. I'd watch the shit out of that.
oh my god, I'm in. Although I do think, no, it's getting in.
Getting ahead or
Getting
spoilery?
ahead
Ah,
and
damn.
spoilery.
Okay, never mind.
So
then.
never mind. Yeah, I thought, it scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. It kind of scared the shit out of me tonight. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of the opposite. It didn't scare me then. I mean, it's a fun, it's a very, I call it thriller. It thrilled me. Mm-hmm. I was trying to say, I can't talk. Fuck.
Thrill.
you probably are less of a scaredy cat than I am.
This is true. I love scary movies with a goddamn passion.
Yeah.
I like scary movies, but
See, I don't like scary movies, but I did tell you guys that story about the Courage of the Cowardly Dog episode in the last episode, and yeah, like I can take horror easier now.
Is there anything you would have wanted to change in this episode?
I would have changed everyone to have more Pucka Shells, honestly.
Yeah, the only thing that could have improved this episode is more Pucka Shells.
More.
More.
We really need to drive in how.
The monster of the week should have been defeated by Pucka Shells.
Yeah.
When you guys see me tomorrow, I'm just gonna be wearing like 8 things of Pucka Shells.
And we're gonna be like, yeah, you're protected now.
Yep. Ready for the Wendigos.
Protected from having sex.
Do you guys want to know something else?
What?
Sure.
I had a Pucka Shell necklace.
I fucking bet you did.
Do you guys want to know something else?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a Pucka Shell necklace.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what?
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 I may still have a Pucka Shell necklace.
Oh,
Oh,
yours! Ah.
I was looking at the corner of my eye. I was like, Ben's gonna admit to having a Pucka Shell necklace. Now. It was the thing to do. It was the thing. You went to the beach.
Yeah.
And you were like,
went
I
to the
gotta
beach,
get
got a
something to commemorate
Pucka
this
shell.
time.
I gotta look like a beach bum, man.
Yeah, and I don't own my own bathroom yet, so I can't decorate it with nautical themes shit. I gotta get my own fucking Pucka Shells.
You're gonna love my bathroom.
Oh boy.
I'll be
It's
all
all
open in
Pucka
that
Shells.
bathroom. It's all Pucka Shells.
The toilet is made of Pucka Shells. The sink is Pucka Shells.
The
It's
toilet
very-
paper, Pucka Shells.
The soap is
It's very-
Pucka Shells.
It's the 3 shell method.
It's
Yep.
the 3 All right, and on that note,
On that note,
thank you for listening.
Thank you.
One
Check
shell at a
out
time.
our social media. You can find Travis at.
at Actually Tall.
You can find Ben at.
Mr. Fluffy Bunnies.
And you can find me at Arian the Spy. That's ARIANNE, the Spy.
We're going to have to keep spelling that to people until we actually make a Twitter account for the show.
Yes, we are. And that is on Instagram and Twitter.
Same with me.
Same with me.
And you guys have a great rest of your night.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Until next time.
Okay, it's fine. It's fine.
The cat's trying to play the guitar.
Yeah.
Ducky,
Doing a great job.
Ducky is going to whip out a solo for us.
Yeah.
Ducky did all the music.
Yeah.
Ducky did all the music. Ducky's a very talented artist.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And I'll play a
sorry,
sweet
Ben.
guitar
It's
riff.
Well,
Hey, Assbutt.